the science around the 350?
350 is the most important number in the world.
Yes.
In the winter of 2008, America's foremost climatologists made it clear that any value for carbon in the atmosphere greater than 350 parts per million was not, as they put it in memorable language, was not compatible with the planet on which civilization developed or to which life on Earth is adapted. Okay? It's the boundary condition for a habitable planet. We're already past it. We're at 390 parts per million. That's why the Arctic is melting. That's why Australia is burning up. It's why we have tens of millions of acres of dead pine trees across western North America. It's why the snowpack in the Sierras is going to dwindle, on and on and on. The job becomes recognizing that climate change is not a future threat, but a present crisis, and scrambling as fast as we can to get back to the safe place.
What is that range around 350? What's the margin of error?
We don't know. We know that 350 is the absolute max. We got to go under that. We don't know how far under it.
How do we get back down from?
If we stop putting carbon into the atmosphere, forests and oceans will suck carbon out of the atmosphere. There are also things we can do agriculturally in the way we manage soils to increase the uptake of carbon from the atmosphere. But the key part is stop pouring more in. It's like a bathtub. There is a drain, but if you're pouring water in the top all the time, the bathtub never goes down. So the key goal is to stop burning fossil fuel.
But given that the half-life, you could call it that, I know it's not exact.
It's not.
CO2 is long.
It's 100 years.
100 years, right. So if we
It's
went
not
to
gonna
zero
happen.
carbon tomorrow,
It would take,
how
the
long?
youngest people in this room would be elderly people before we were back at 350.
Right.
Landry would be old man before we got
So
back
60
to 350.
years?
Yeah, something like that. But and there'll be a lot of damage done in the meantime.
Yes.
Okay. But the scary thing is to understand that we won't always have even that opportunity. If we put very much more carbon into the atmosphere, we'll pass the kind of tipping points like permafrost melt and methane release that mean we'll never be able to get back there, even if we stop driving every car and powering every factory.
What are the three big tipping points that we're really close to?
We clearly have passed the tipping point with Arctic sea ice. High altitude glaciers are melting with enormous speed, and that's really dangerous. We've obviously affected hydrological cycles already, and seawater is turning acid. None of these are good things. It's too late to stop global warming. We're obviously going to have a lot of damage. It's not too late, we think, to keep the worst possibilities from happening. We're not fighting now for some beautiful, perfect utopia. We're fighting to keep real collapse at bay. And it's by no means certain we're going to win that fight.